everyone. Hello, all. Welcome to the May 21st through 23rd edition of Show Business. I come to you, as always, as CP.
And from Infuegotainment and the Horror Show, hi, me Infuego.
And I'm Lindsey Pankers for doing stuff from a place I don't usually do it from. What's up, guys?
And hi, I'm Chauncey K. Robinson, a.k.a. Twisted Woman CKR.
Who has some news, I think. Don't you, Chauncey, that you'd like to deliver? Congratulations.
I am now an official member of the Hollywood Critics Association.
Congrats.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
awesome.
Much
yeah.
deserved.
Indeed. Just quick to the chat. What's up, Raiders? Felix, Sean, Madness, Trevor, Tim. Okay, so that was that. We have, we're slowly getting there with the theaters. There's numbers to report. They're not huge, but Spiral came in first with 4.6 million. Wrath of Man came in second with 2.9. Those Who Wish Me Dead, 1.8. That's also on Max, HBO Max, so grain of salt. Raya and the Last Dragon rose to fourth with 1.7 million, and Godzilla vs. Kong jumped back in the top 5 with 1.4 million. But the big release of the weekend was Army of the Dead, which came out to Netflix. And I don't know how many of us have seen it.
Yeah, we
the
saw
first
it in theaters last week.
Well, one more time. Quick, Fuego, sorry.
Oh, so Lindsey and I saw it in theaters last week, and so now that it's made its proper rollout, I did watch it again. Lady Catherine, my girlfriend, was checking it out the other night, and then we in turn threw on the Dawn of the Dead remake, and so doing a little Zack Snyder double dose, which was fun. So,
overall thoughts?
I liked it a lot when I first kind of walked out of it. It hasn't really sat with me great though. Like, kind of the more I think about it, the more it kind of like you know what I mean? Like, sometimes when you think about a movie, it gets better. The more I think about this, like, it doesn't get bad, but it gets weaker. It's a Snyder film. They're messy, but that's also kind of why I love them. The mess is kind of part of the fun. But that's me.
Yeah, what's weird is all the marketing for it feels very Suicide Squad. Like, it's all purple and neon and it's like so bright and colorful. Like, all I can think of is, oh my God, this looks just like marketing for Suicide Squad. And the movie could not be browner. Like, there's so much brown and gray. It's just so dingy. And I was like, who the hell is a DP for this movie? And of course, it's
who it was.
Zack Snyder.
He's a Renaissance man. He's out there doing his thing.
Yeah, I guess. It's ugly. It's an ugly movie. Is I'll say, I don't know. Is it supposed to be pretty? I guess not. But, Fuego, did you chime in?
Well, Chauncey, you said you only watched the first hour of it.
Yeah.
What made you kind of tap out, just out of curiosity?
Well, no, I didn't. My boyfriend fell asleep. It was like 1 in the morning. We started it, and I literally had to stop because I was like, I know he's gonna have to watch it all over again. So I just stopped it and I paused. I'm like, we'll just finish it together. And it's just that, I ended up going out actually and stuff like that. So it was one of those things where I just haven't gotten back to it. But I will say the first hour, I actually loved it. The first hour so far. Now, I don't know. It might go downhill in the second hour and a half. But
what do you remember last seeing?
It was like right after they gave the really crappy dude to the queen. And it was like after he got dragged away. Yeah, so I absolutely love the opening of this movie. I thought the opening was great. Actually, this is so funny because some of the people playing smaller roles, I actually recognize them from other stuff that I have seen or old shows that I like the first two soldiers, both of them was from something I'd seen before. And I was like, oh, I know this guy. He's in this other thing. It's nice when, you see familiar because like every face matters sometimes in some of these movies.
Sure.
Especially, I guess, with Snyder because he uses people, and things like that. So I love the musical opening. with the This Is Vegas type thing, the kind of eerie play on that song. It was just really great.
Well,
I just thought it was a really great way of opening the whole world of everything that happened. And I think he's kind of, and you had the slow motion because it's Zack Snyder, so you had those slow motion moments.
Slow-mo opening.
I loved all of that, and I just really enjoyed the first hour. I'll say that. It wasn't. Now I will say it's not something I've been like I have to finish it.
Yeah.
But that's because the zombie subgenre of horror isn't always my fave. So, but I like Snyder things. I love Dawn of the Dead. So, I enjoy it, and I actually think so far this seems like a condemnation of capitalism. So I don't know,
absolutely.
maybe it's,
Absolutely.
so I'm loving that. It seems like a condemnation of capitalism in that. So there's some underlying thing there that I've enjoyed elements. I love the whole, YouTube star type thing. Okay. There was just so much in the first hour at least. So maybe it goes downhill.
The first 10 minutes and then that next hour are definitely the best part. Like,
okay.
Say what you will about Snyder, but that guy knows how to open a movie. Snyder cut with Superman screaming, like the Watchmen music video with the times that are changing might be my favorite opening.
Yeah, he'd be a great music video director. He really he belongs in the 90s. Zack Snyder does.
I wonder if he's ever dabbled into that genre of filmmaking
but before he made Dawn of the Dead, he was all about music videos.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sure, like lots of those guys, they make their transition, and it's often for better or for worse in that way.
See, I would say the music, the way they opened the movie felt like a retread because he did do the very same exact thing with the same artist doing a jazzy show tune version of a Disturbed song, I think it was. But he did it in Dawn of the Dead.
Well, that was in the closing credits, though.
Was it?
Correctly, yeah.
I thought it was like just in the middle, like them.
It was the Richard Cheese version, because I just watched it last night. The opening of the movie Dawn of the Dead is with the oh goodness,
the man comes around, Johnny Cash.
Exactly,
right?
walk the line guy. Yeah, exactly.
Walk the line guy. Yeah. The guy that walked the line.
I love Cash. It was my dad's, one of my dad's favorites.
I was gonna say that guy. You mean the guy?
It was really funny to me that the trailers for Walk the Line always played Ring of Fire. Because the first time I saw it, I'm like, oh yeah, Johnny Cash. Oh, it's not called Ring of Fire. Oh, okay.
So there was a cast replacement.
Yes.
Originally, Chris D'Elia was supposed to be the chopper pilot, and replaced by Tig Notaro in post. I don't know if any of you noticed it, but I to be honest, if you didn't tell me, I probably wouldn't have noticed.
I remember Lindsey brought it up. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Fuego.
Oh no, I was just saying that's why I noticed, as we talked a little about last week, was because I was cognizant of it, and so for that reason, I'm like, kind of sidelined to the corner of shots a lot of the time, lots of stuff with just her specifically as opposed to actual interaction, and so for that reason, it kind of stood out a little bit, but I still thought Tig was good, and
I agree.
Yeah, especially third act line delivery and. There's a lot of Aliens retread in this film.
Oh boy!
As I made mention of last week, and also in the review on the horror show, but
shot retakes. It looked like.
yeah, exactly. But where is that fine line between homage and actually ripping off? I'm not so sure. And also watching the pitch meeting for this, it made me just kind of realize a little bit that I possibly overlooked robot zombies and other weird stuff of that nature, teases of using that big saw, and then there's no satisfying utilization. So
there was a couple of those. There was a couple of things that they didn't just pay off at all, and I'm trying to think. I really wish I wrote it down because there was 2 or 3 things I was like, oh really? All right, well I guess that's it.
I was a little worried, and I guess I'm still a little worried that, I think, one of the things I also think he's good at, and I think it was the same in Dawn of the Dead. To me, one of the reasons why I don't sometimes care for certain zombie movies is because there's only the focus on the undead, on the zombies themselves. And I think when a storyteller does that, they kind of miss the point of why what's so great about a zombie movie, which is usually it's a reflection of what can happen to society when everyone goes undead or something happens, right? And I think with Dawn of the Dead, Zach did such a great job of showing that with consumerism and stuff, right? And I think with this one, at least in the first hour, what I'm getting is that, you know, he's very good at when he sinks his teeth into like showcasing characters to make you care about them. I do care about a good amount of some of the characters, and so I get mad at myself because I'm like, oh, now I care about some of these people, and I know they're gonna die and stuff like that. And I guess that's a good thing when he can create something like that.
You want to care about the characters,
but at the same time, I don't, because I'm like, I'd rather just watch some of these people just die. But it's also like he really did do well in kind of showing their backstories in a way, or at least what kind of has happened to them to get them to this point to want to go on this mission in the first place, you know, and what the government did. And you kind of want them all to have a happy ending, because it's like, because it's like they got screwed over with everything they did, the veterans who didn't get their, you know, and so you're kind of like, you want them to kind of win, you know, even though you know all of this is going to go to crap.
Well, yeah, there's a moment. I'm sorry, Chauncey, I'm probably going to spoil something for you. You bring up consumerism and capitalism. Yeah. There is a moment where they come across something that looks very similar to them, and there's this poignant moment where they're like, oh, we're just another chain in the cycle. It's you know, very disposable heroes, if you will, and that seems to be like the subgenre within the subgenre of zombie films is social stuff in regards to capitalism and consumerism, and
we can thank Romero for that, obviously.
Yeah,
he really intended to inject that. So
yeah, with Night of the Living Dead especially. Ben,
it's funny. I like that you bring that up, actually, because like a lot of people are talking about, there's a lot of chatter online talking about like, and they specifically say it in the movie too, like, is this just a time loop? Are we just doomed to do this forever and ever? And I don't think you're supposed to take that literally. I think it's just supposed to be kind of like what you said, like this is just another step in a cycle. Like,
yeah.
I've got a corgi right here. He keeps trying to hop up in my lap.
Let's see him.
Absolutely.
Let's see him.
I was going to say, because that is Stephen King approved, my friend. You know, he loves this stories.
She's the absolute sweetie.
A little bit lower.
A little bit lower. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, there she is. She's a little shy right now. She's my cuddle buddy. But okay, so I don't think you're supposed to take that like at face value. I think it's just supposed to be like, you know, like we keep talking about capitalism. It's just like, you know, it's a cycle of people get used and thrown away, then used and throw away, all just to make money for the people that already have money. And that's like, you can see her nose. And that's the part of the movie that really did fascinate me, was the way that it did kind of play into those types of things. I don't think it's a time loop, though. I just want to throw that out there. I at least I hope.
Yeah,
it's not.
I don't know where that take came from, but no.
Well, Batista literally says it, but again, I don't think you're supposed to take the line at face value. I think it's supposed to be a metaphorical thing.
I think because the outfits on certain people look so similar, people
which is intentional, obviously.
Yeah, but
is this supposed to be part of a trilogy, though? Is there supposed to be a universe building? Now, I'm still confused about that. Is there, like, someone said something like the prequel is supposed to be a rom-com or something? Like, what is this supposed to be? Like, I was just kind of confused on what they're building exactly. Does anyone know?
Well, there's a live-action prequel, from what I understand, that is going to focus upon the safecracker kid, and then there is the anime series that I'm not sure where that fits in the timeline, if it's going to explore the initial outbreak or whatever. And then Snyder obviously has been saying that he has all of the ideas plotted out for a potential sequel, with how it's been, you know, relatively well received. I haven't seen as much shit talking as, you know, people were potentially expecting. And I think he's in good graces between this and, you know, Justice League Snyder Cut, you know, being, you know, well received earlier this year as well. So he's trending in the right direction, I'd say. So.
Sure, he's good with you know, don't throw him into something huge. You know, he's good with a leash, so to speak. This wasn't always a 90 million budget. I'm pretty sure Netflix will be happy with whatever they get back from this.
He's been trying to make this. Sorry, he's been trying to make this since Dawn wrapped, and so it's over a decade. He's been trying to get this film made. So
I actually found an interview. I think it was The Wrap. I could be wrong about that, from 2011, where he was talking about how these super zombies would actually breed with human women in order to make more of the super. Not in this version, obviously, but in this other version that he wanted to do. And you saw elements of that in his Dawn of the Dead with the zombie baby, and spoilers, but there's elements of that in this that Chauncey will see later on in the movie. So those types of things are still there, but not quite exactly that. And also the way that they made it might not have been the friendliest, but there are certain words I don't want to say. And again, he seems to have gotten away from that stuff. But it is fascinating to see, because this could have been a sequel to Dawn of the Dead.
Absolutely. I felt like it's right as I was saying before. The intro felt like a spiritual successor of sorts to something from Dawn, but yeah. With the
only a few rewrites will let you get there too. You take out the fact that it was started by the army guys, which a lot of people are being hard on that scene. It made me smile.
I liked it.
Right, it's Stephen King's Thinner, essentially, which is what makes me laugh. And it's right, ripped from the pages, basically. And that was a movie in its own right. So.
I had fun with that movie.
Yeah.
So Fuego, I don't know which direction I want to go in. So, Fuego, you mentioned in the chat, I don't know if anybody else has seen this, I just saw this weekend 4 Good Days with Mila Kunis and Glenn Close.
Yes,
has anybody else seen this movie? Lindsey?
I don't think so. Mila Kunis and Glenn Close, that's a great cast, though. What movie is this?
She's getting over addiction, right?
Yeah, 4 Good Days.
So she's Kunis' character, essentially. Mila Kunis' character has been for almost a decade plus in this particular film, and it's a small indie, but she has been struggling with addiction to. She started out with an injury where they prescribed her oxys, and then in turn, after that was no longer available, she segued into heroin and various other things, and has this estranged relationship with her mother, Glenn Close. Terrific performances on both ends, and the way that they do up Mila Kunis to look like this just haggard, teeth missing, and the makeup work and everything, it is quite a performance from both of them. And it's these small little films, especially being released earlier in the year, they're not going to get the attention once award season starts in the fall.
I don't know.
I was so impressed with this film, and it was legit heartbreaking, and the chemistry between the two actresses was phenomenal. And Glenn Close, I mean, between this and the one where her husband was the author, the British guy, I'm trying to recall the title of it, but it was where she got nominated in 2019 for an Oscar, and she lost again. She is one of those that has been nominated over and over. She is like the anti-Meryl Streep, where she gets a lot of the accolades as far as nominations, but doesn't actually get to take home the trophies, which is, really, really unfortunate. But 4 Good Days. It is in select theaters right now. It'll probably be available on VOD at some point in time very soon.
That's how I got to see it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. But I was impressed. What did you think, CP?
I, as somebody who had spinal surgery and was on opiates for quite a while, I could attest to the fact that they're a pain in the ass to get off of. I've never obviously gone down the path that Mila Kunis' character did, but there's a couple of things that rang true, that felt legit, and there was a couple of things that I really wished they focused a bit more on, like the relationship with the sister. Glenn Close goes out for
one scene, right?
Yeah, they have a dinner, and then Glenn Close kind of abandons her, and it's just like, wait a minute, let's talk about how she's affected by this, and they never really go back to it, and it's brutal. It's not something, I don't know, you'd want to go into and like expect a laugh. It's a brutal experience, and it's pretty close to realistic. I mean, there's stuff that I could nitpick and say, Yeah, from what my personal experience is, at the very least, withdrawal is a little bit more brutal than is portrayed. Like, at the very end of the movie, she goes through something just terrifying and brutal. That is a little bit closer to what she should have been feeling in the first couple of days. But listen, it's a movie. They got the point across, and kudos to making Mila Kunis look rather haggard.
Yeah,
she looks quite unpretty in this movie.
Yeah, and it's not the sort of film that I would have gone to a theater to see if not for the reinstatement of my A-list, and I'm like, I have 3 movies a week. What else is that? I'm like, I could see Billy Crystal and Tiffany Haddish and Here Today, or I could go see Four Good Days, and so I chose the latter. But I'm still curious about that Billy Crystal movie because I can't even remember the last time I'd seen him in something. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. He directed something recently.
Oh, is that the one with him and Tiffany Haddish?
Yep.
Oh, like he's a struggling playwright, right? Who becomes friends with Tiffany.
Yeah, it's called Here Today. I almost saw it instead of the Kunis Glenn Close film, but I have more credits this week, so I'll probably make my way.
So what's actually coming out this week, after 16 months of release pushback, is A Quiet Place 2. Fuego, you actually got your pretty little eyes on it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it with whatever you can? I don't know what you're...
Yeah, this is a tough one without spoiling stuff significantly. Okay. And we did record a review for the horror show last night after we walked out of the theater. I guess I will go as far as to say that I really wanted to love it, but I didn't. And I think that was more so because of the fact that Krasinski actually wrote the script as opposed to this previous one that was floating on the blacklist for a long time. And it was finally made in 2018, 2019. I'm trying to remember how many years ago it's been at this point. But despite significantly impressive performances, most notably from the hearing impaired girl who gets a lot more to do in this and has a interesting bonding with the Cillian Murphy character. And Cillian Murphy is great, man. I've enjoyed him ever since. I mean, most people saw him in 28 Days Later, but Sunshine is a fantastic performance from him. And I like when he goes villainous, like in that Wes Craven movie with him and Rachel McAdams. That the title is eluding me at the moment. But
right.
Red Eye. Yeah.
Red Eye.
Yeah, he's a versatile actor, man, and he is really good in this. But there's kind of a splintering amongst characters that I don't necessarily know how well it works. And the fact that there isn't a scene that employs the amount of insane tension like the birthing scene in that first film. I mean, I'm obviously not a mother or a woman or anything, but I could only, like, if I found that scene so unnerving and insane, I could only imagine how a woman would feel watching that, especially if they have children and have gone through the process of childbirth and stuff. So it's good, but not great. And I think the burden of expectation probably weighed very heavily on my viewing experience because I was so stoked for this movie. I mean, Cecil and I had press last March for it, and we finally got to see it all this time later. So, good, but not great. And they're saying it's the second part in a trilogy. So,
so there is going to be a third one?
That's what at least Emily Blunt's saying on the press rounds right now. So we'll see. We'll see. But I love
people asking about Fantastic Four.
Wait, what?
Oh, have you guys seen that? Emily Blunt getting annoyed with an interviewer because they keep asking her about Fantastic Four.
Yeah, she's going to be the lead in it, man.
Yeah.
Well, I know that's the thing. It hasn't been announced, and she keeps just saying it's not happening. Just everyone wants her to be the Sue Storm in the upcoming, and so they just won't stop talking to her about it. And she's like, "Can we talk about the movie I'm here to talk about?"
Yeah, that's. I hope for Paramount's sake that they, get what they were waiting so long for, because I don't understand their strategy here at all. It's just, I mean, they have the weekend all to themselves. There's that.
Yeah. Well, there's Cruella, although that has the dual release thing going on. So yeah,
does it? Okay.
It's just so strange. I don't understand and the same thing that could be said for Fast 9, which isn't coming out for a couple of weeks, but was released internationally and is just selling hot. I think 165 in China alone.
Wow.
Fast 9, excuse me. It's making money at theaters around the world. So, yeah, it's weird. It's hard to pinpoint like what the We're Back movie is going to be, but I guess maybe Fast 9 might be it. If you look,
I think that's probably maybe the most universal, where no one's gonna be like, you needed to be like the biggest fan of it.
Yeah.
It's one of those popcorn movies, right?
Yeah.
So I can go in. I haven't seen like the last 4. I'm pretty sure I would probably still go see this movie because it's like, why not go see Fast 9? So I could see that. With The Quiet Place, I actually have a question about the sequel. Yeah. I found the first one so-so. I didn't love it. I actually liked the Sandra Bullock, the Can't See.
The Netflix one.
And everyone was like comparing it, and I was like, even though that book was like, the book that was based on was way before this Quiet Place movie, but everyone was comparing, and I said, well, out of the two, if you're going to make me compare, I choose the Sandra Bullock one. I felt like the first one was a little emotionally manipulative of what happened to the father, because I thought that was unnecessary how he died. So I wonder, do you think they play on, and I think they made the girl very obnoxious. So do you think they did better this one, or?
He's about the same.
You probably didn't have the same thought, so maybe that wasn't.
Well, I mean, she is the handicapped daughter she is in the same sort of tone, but amplified a little bit. And I mean, there was
Bird Box really. Sorry.
yeah, and she has some more interaction with her brother, and you can see how things have. It's weird because it's not as quiet of a film as the previous one, because as we see in the trailers, it starts with day one, and so we do see, and then there's also a community of people. Well, I'm not sure I should say that, but there is more sound and like talking and dialogue and stuff in this movie compared to the previous one. There's a little bit less of the sign language aspect. It's still there, but it's got the Walking Dead sort of vibe, where the world expansion and there are nefarious other people out there. But I thought it was going to be explored a little bit more than it actually was, based on the hints they gave in the trailer. So and also the creature action wasn't quite as thrilling as I found from the previous one.
It's an idea that, like, you can't really go too far with it. Like once you explore, it's like, okay, I get it. You can't make any sounds because the monster is explicitly working off a sound. But like, I mean, how far can you go with that? Like,
that's the thing. I
thought it would have been a good first one and done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it made a lot of money, because movie, because money. So that's why we get more
money. That's it.
I guess that's kind of the doom of a lot of things that become successful. Like, was Halloween supposed to have a sequel? Was Scream supposed to have a sequel? I guess Scream, actually, it's supposed to be the meta commentary, so maybe they intended to do that from the beginning. But
I love
Friday the
Scream
13th. So I do too. Like, I've got a soft spot in my heart for Scream. I'm not trashing on it at all. I'm just saying, like, a lot of the classics weren't meant to have sequels with money, and then they end up getting the sequels. Not everything is Army of the Dead coming prepackaged with an anime prequel and a Netflix series and other things like that.
Well, horror is really the genre where they capitalize on that low cost, high reward.
Yeah,
I mean, when you can have.
Sorry.
I was saying, when you can have like Killer Gingerbread Man like 4 and 3 and all that stuff. I mean, this is definitely a genre that milks it when it can.
I was going to say,
especially if it's a killer.
Got to eat too, man. I mean,
yeah, especially when there's like a single killer to deal with, I guess. But with Quiet Place, I felt like it was more of a concept where it was like, will people sit through another whole movie like that? After expecting. Already sitting through that kind of experience, like one of those experience type movies where it's like, can you really, like lightning in a bottle, can you get that same thing because it was so new, and that's what it was playing on so much,
right.
the quietness. I remember when I went to go see it, I saw the screen, it was just like it's so quiet in the theater. People didn't even want to eat their chips.
You could hear them, somebody's crinkling their wrapper. You're like, cut that shit out.
Yeah, because you're suddenly like, yo, you can't even eat in here. I just gotta wait. My nostrils gonna get cold. Like, you just had to because that was the thing. But I'm like, I don't know. So I was curious.
But the quietest I've ever seen in a movie theater was during A Quiet Place and during Last Jedi when the ship did the light speed ram into the other ship. And both times I saw it, the entire theater went quiet. But you heard a pin drop when I saw A Quiet Place. It was I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it was Red Letter Media made a joke about I feel sorry for the people that saw A Quiet Place in the theater next to Truth or Dare, because every time Truth or Dare had a scare, you probably heard it in A Quiet Place.
Through the walls, right? Yeah. So what else do we have as far as anything that came out? Did anybody watch anything that is semi-new?
Unfortunately not. I'm a bad Lindsey. I'm sorry.
Not movies wise. I saw Sons of Sam, but that's about it. And Oxygen. I watched. Right? Yeah, Sons of Sam, and I watched the Netflix movie Oxygen, which was a French science fiction thriller, which was really good. It's about a woman who she actually played in Inglourious Basterds, and that's why I was she was the woman in Inglourious Basterds who owned the movie theater, and I really loved her in that movie. Yeah. And Shoshana. I really loved her in that movie. So I was like, oh, she's leading. She was a great actress. Let me watch this. And it's basically a woman who wakes up in a cryogenic pod, and she doesn't know how she got there, anything like that. And she's basically she doesn't know how she got there. She's running out of oxygen, hence the title. And a whole bunch of other stuff happens within that. I guess someone compared it to Ryan Reynolds' Buried, which was a similar concept where he was but it wasn't science fiction. He was buried in, it was it dealt with terrorism in the Middle East, and he was buried in a coffin underground.
Very claustrophobic for the whole movie.
Yeah, but Oxygen does play on a lot of phobias. So I actually enjoyed it. I think I gave it an A.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Melanie Laurent, by the way, is her name.
Yes, Laurent. And she's
also
terrific
in Now You See Me.
Oh, that's right.
A much less good movie.
Yeah, and it's from Alexander Aja. I want to say he did. Yeah, he did Crawl. AJA, he did High Tension. He did the Piranha remake, which I just recently rewatched for a patron sort of thing. So I mean, stylistic to spare, but great performance from Laurent. She really shoulders the burden of having so much to propel forward, and the mystery of the situation is trying to figure out where exactly she is, and that's one of the key things that you don't want to spoil. And even though I kind of suspected where it was going, it still was very compelling. I thought it was awesome.
And this is on Netflix?
It's on Netflix. It's an hour and 47 minutes. I did feel like it could have been about 20 minutes shorter than it was, because because of the concept, because you don't got much to work with, and it's okay, after 2 hours, we're going with this, there's not much else to see, but it does really keep you enthralled with everything, and that's really, like you said, it's really dependent on her performance, and it's just, and the way it's good storytelling too. There's a few lulls that make it so I felt like it could have been shorter, but that was my one thing about the movie that I felt like they could have cut out maybe 20 minutes. But after that, it was everything else just worked.
Yeah, I didn't find the flashbacks as effective, or maybe they were a little bit more prevalent than necessary. But
yeah, I'd recommend it for people if they like science fiction thrillers, which is our AK horror.
Huh? Interesting.
Yeah, I watched it dubbed. I will say that.
I watched it.
Ain't reading shit. I'm with you there. Zachary asks if anybody's watched Riders of Justice.
I just rented it on VOD. Mads Mikkelsen for the win, but I'm not sure when I'm going to get the chance to watch it. I'm one of those shooty hoops people, so Phoenix Suns Lakers is a big thing for me after we get done tonight. So,
well, are they in the playoffs yet?
The playoffs started on Sunday. Yeah.
Is that what? Excuse me. Sorry.
Oh no, you're fine.
How dare you?
Oh no, Cecil has been giving me so much crap. He's just you and your sports. What is wrong with you?
Yeah. So news then. I guess I'll lead off with what I have, Fuego, because this wasn't. It was a to talk about or not to talk about touch. Apparently, Kevin Spacey is back, and he's taken a role in a film where he is a detective, and what he's going after are sex criminals, specifically pedophiles, and
Help but laugh.
it's
Can't help but
this is actually news. Like, I don't know how to like, is anybody like self-aware at all? Like, there's got to be some sort of inside joke somewhere, because why?
I'm assuming there's gonna be like winks at the camera, like Kevin Spacey just being like, "What kind of person would do this?"
Yeah.
Look at the camera.
Well, first of all, why would he take this? That's my first question. Second, what production company would actually put money behind this and want to release it?
I'll look it up actually.
It's a small little indie from what I understand, and I think it's a French film. Lomoche Diseño Dio, or actually maybe that's Spanish. I'm a dumbass, excuse me.
I have no idea how to spell that, so I'm not even gonna try to Google it.
Good job, Fuego.
Although it is technically Italian, now that I get the proper clarification, a famed Italian actor turned director, Franco Nero, is the one who was doing this. But
maybe they don't get American news over there.
Well, I mean, look at what happened with Gibson, right? You know, Mel Gibson was in the doghouse for a long time, and I'm not condoning any of the shit that he said, man, but with these very prominent, celebrated, award-winning actors, they have to find a project. But what a weird one, as far as tone and subject matter.
First time back, he's doing something like this. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Shit. If I had a penny and you told me I could make $1 million off of it, I still wouldn't give you the penny. Well, actually, maybe I might give you a penny, but it's
a lot different than Mel doing the Beaver, you know, for Jodie Foster.
Well, I think there's a difference between Mel saying stuff, getting a little tossed and drunk, and you know, somewhere on the spectrum, Mel Gibson's, you know, probably like a 5, where Kevin Spacey's that's a pretty clear 10.
Well, it was a crime, right? His was a crime.
Sure.
I mean, as much as, you know, the thing with Gibson is vile, you know, the racism, the anti-Semitism and stuff like that, it's not, you know, considered something he can be thrown in jail for, right? What Kevin Spacey did is something you can actually, you know, be thrown in jail for. So that's a whole different level. But I would say, I feel like, I will also say that it's kind of like, if you use the example of Gibson, even if you use the example of Woody Allen, and I'm saying right, Woody Allen and stuff, where it's like, you know, Hollywood. I feel like there are times when people who are friends and things like that, with powerful people, and these people who are influential and they're friends and stuff, they protect their own sometimes in some regards of things. And it's kind of like, it's the same way Woody Allen can still get put out in movies, and Scarlett Johansson will come to his aid, or, you know, you'll still have, as much as I like Selena Gomez, she'll be in one of his movies or something like that. And you have these moments where it's like there's a certain protection that goes around for some people, and some people are willing to vouch for their friends. And we've seen that. I mean, even some women where Lena Dunham, she had to end up apologizing, but one of her friends did something to someone, supposedly, you know, was accused of doing something to someone else. And Lena Dunham basically, you know, called that person a straight up liar because this was her guy friend, and she was like, he would never do that. And she had to apologize. You know what I mean? But, you know, these people, they know each other and they run in the same circles and things like that. And, you know, it's not, I guess I'm saying it's not hard for me to believe that he could still get work and that he'd do something like this.
Yeah.
And that I mean, there's a lot of people who don't say no to anybody in this town.
Yeah, well, that's it too. Like
they don't say no.
There's this. Not everybody has the same morals. So there's that photographer out of New York who's like really scuzzy and, you know, apparently did, you know, like really over the line stuff. But some some people like still celebrated him, and Miley Cyrus recently did a shoot with him, and like the guy, I forgot what the fuck his name is, but apparently like he'd do photo shoots, and they would get a little out of line as far as nudity and things like that, getting sex act involved, and some people will defend the art, quote unquote, and it's just like some people are okay with certain things, and some people, like when it comes to like things you'll do for a buck, some people have different morals. I think that's like that's why it's been a secret in Hollywood for so long. People like, listen, I didn't really want to do it, but I couldn't get this role otherwise, so fuck it.
Yeah, I was going to say, watch Starry Eyes. That movie will disturb you, and it is all about that sort of situation. But I just wonder where the line between like a Masterson or a Cosby is in comparison with like a Franco or a Kevin Spacey, in the fact that accusations are hurled and in some cases criminal charges, and then things are settled out of court and they don't blow up into being such a big nasty sort of situation. And Franco is being exiled by like Seth Rogen and various other people that he worked with extensively in recent years. So I don't know where the differentiation really lies in that sort of situation. So,
and supposedly weird. Franco was going to be the husband in the opening of Army of the Dead. Supposedly, I who knows? But
thank God they avoided casting a sex predator.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Well, then they would have had to have cast Tig Notaro to digitally replace two different people if they had done that.
That'd be awesome.
That would have been.
See that? I'd like to see that. Tig Notaro twice.
I think it's weird because I've seen people. I see things sometimes where it's like, there's this idea that Hollywood, it's this weird kind of it's like a conundrum. It's like this weird thing where, some people on certain ends of the political spectrum or whatever be like, Hollywood's all these like libtards and da-da-da-da-da. And and then I'm like, actually, I don't think you talk to a lot of these people, because I'm like, and I see people on my timeline say certain things where I'm like, they'd actually probably be a little bit more aligned with some of the stuff you want to say, depending on, what particular topic it is, so it's, it's not unheard of that things like that get to fester, and that money can talk, but also people and their loyalties to who they're loyal to, their friendships can outweigh. And unless people get a lot of heat and flack for it, a lot of time they won't necessarily come out against somebody. I feel like Rogan came out. Like Seth, I think he did it away from, like, it was some pressure, but then I think he chose on his own. He's gone above and beyond to like let it be known that he's not, messing with Franco anymore. Probably more than he needed to, in a way. But that's rare sometimes. Sometimes it takes people to like, other people, the whole cancel culture thing, to bring up people's affiliations to have them suddenly stop wanting to associate with people in public or on projects and stuff. And even then it doesn't always work, like Scarlett Johansson. And we all just laugh and think her, and not all of us, but like people just laugh and think, oh, it's so cute, her and her husband from SNL and things like that. And he doesn't get the same flack, but it's like, they're both crap. Because he's, because she does crappy stuff, and like, but we're all just supposed to forget it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a documentary that recently came out about what the hell, Weinstein, and it's quite an interesting watch, fascinating, and they talk about certain actors and actresses that have gone eerily quiet during all of this. And his legal troubles. It's just strange what it seems like there's like this slow rollout with the Me Too movement, we'll call it, and it's just strange. Like, how about we all just get out on the same page all at once, and let's just get it over with and pull the Band-Aid off. But it just seems like some people are like trying to see how far they can go without needing to talk about it or address it.
I've actually kind of been dealing with something kind of sort of similar to that.
You shut your mouth.
No. So when I went to
what
high
we
school,
do offset is
Oh, no. I'm not talking about that. BB. Don't worry. That's between you and me, boo.
That's show business. You keep that shut. I'm sorry. Go ahead. This is serious.
No. Someone I went to high school with has been given 25 to life for killing someone, and it was a long time before I was able to get the psychological block in my head to not really refer to him as my friend from high school and just say that this guy I went to high school with. And it's still I still kind of slip every now and again. It's just like just psychologically there's a certain, you just start seeing people in certain ways, and then even when certain things come to light about them in your mind to a certain capacity, they're still that other person, and it's not exactly easy to necessarily let go of the image that you had of someone unless it was directly done to you. I don't know. That's been my experience with something kind of sort of like that anyway. It messes with your head.
That's very honest. I had a situation where, not to get too many details, but it was like where, when you start working in this thing and, you know people and things like that. And people were calling people out on something. And this was someone I knew, someone who actually helped me. It was weird because it wasn't on the level, because it's all nuance, right? Like it wasn't on the level of like Franco or anything like that. It was more like, person is kind of creepy or something like that or whatever. And it was and I was, I read it through and things like that. And the first thing I thought was like, holy shit, is someone going to do some like deep dive and find that? And I got to do some proclamation to call this person out. But I was like, but I don't want to necessarily call this, because I'm looking at this and I don't know if this is like the Twitter outrage committee more than it's like, something serious that really needs to be called out in a significant way. And I saw the chips fall. I saw this person lose certain things and whatever. Like, and I was even like, I even thought, I was like, this is kind of overkill in a way. I thought that. And it's a weird conundrum, because you're like, well, what do I do? Like, but I see this person and it's not because I'm like, they never were like that to me. It was more like I saw what they were this was happening. I was like, I don't think this is that big of a deal as they're making it, but I think someone's jumping on this thing because of this train that everyone's doing online. But of course I can't say that. You know what I mean? I can't say that, because then it's a whole thing of me, I think cancel culture is so weird because there's cancel culture on both ends of things, like left and right. And I think the only time that cancel culture actually works is when someone actually has the power to take someone's actual like finances and money. And a lot of time that's not people on Twitter. They can put some pressure and maybe a company might listen. But a lot of time if the company doesn't really have to listen, they won't. So does cancel culture really have some type of significance or weight, as much as from the Twitter realm and stuff that people think it does, to the point where you have Fox News having a conniption about it? No, I don't think so. So,
yeah. So tone deaf. That's what I would summarize this story as. Tone deaf. Be on the lookout. I don't know. It'll be hard to separate. I mean, I can't watch Jeepers Creepers without thinking about who's directing it. So.
Yes,
it's going to content of those franchises. It kind of ties into.
Oh yeah. The second one, especially, you're like, really.
I used to like the second one a lot too. Like, I liked it more than the first one.
Yeah, there's quite a few spacey movies that I really quite enjoy. That it's going back, it's like, the hell.
I think we can still enjoy 7 though, because he's the creepy killer guy in that, right?
He fits the role.
And 7 wasn't even about him. He didn't come into like the last 10 minutes, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't get that one's a freebie.
Sweet.
Yeah, although
I still own it. I'm not burning my DVD.
Although I have major issues with liking The Usual Suspects as much as I do, because that's a double whammy between both Singer and Spacey, and you're just like, oh, god damn it, really? Although it is such a great ensemble, mixed feelings, but it is what it is.
What else we got on the news front, Fuego?
Not a massive amount. Lindsey, take it away if you got something.
My boy Ben Grimm in the chat just mentioned Last Night in Soho. And oh my God, that trailer looks great.
Yes.
The new Edgar Wright movie.
Edgar Wright.
I'm always on board, but I'm super on board for this one. I have no idea what it's about, but it looks creepy to high hell, and I'm down.
It looks both gorgeous and not like anything that Edgar Wright has given us before, and which is really kind of interesting.
It looks like a straight up like psychological thriller horror. No, nothing in that trailer made me giggle or get the implication that there was going to be a comedy going on or anything. It looks, I'm down. I love it when directors kind of do things outside the wheelhouse like this. And with someone like Edgar Wright, I think he could do it. I'm down because Shaun of the Dead. That it's hilarious. It's so funny, but there's also a couple of scenes in that movie that are really uncomfortable. Like they're meant to be and kind of scary. Like especially in the bar when, the mom, which is kind of an emotional moment.
Sure.
Yeah, I think he can handle it. I really do.
Well, Baby Driver, Scott Pilgrim too. I mean, but obviously more on the jovial side with both of those.
Right.
I'm holding out to watch this until Sunday. We're going to do a reaction roundup. So I did not get a chance to watch it, unfortunately. So yeah.
No worries. I can't. I hope you get to see it and you like it because it looks good.
Yeah, I will say though, the one thing I'm kind of getting tired of the trope with trailers is the remaking a popular song and making it creepy like that. That trend.
Yeah.
Can we stop that? All right. Yeah. It's really cool that you took a song that I know is something this way and made it creepy and slow.
Now I'm very curious what song it is. Damn it!
Downtown.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they made Downtown creepy?
Yeah.
Everything's great when you're downtown.
Downtown. Yeah.
I want them to do the reverse of that for like a comedy movie. Take a song that's kind of creepy and off-putting and like retime it so it's like kind of happy and jovial. I don't know how that would work, but someone should try.
Well, I mean, we were talking about it earlier with that Disturbed. Come on, get down with the sickness. You fucker, get up. Come on, get down with the sickness.
I listen to that song on my iPhone sometimes. I love it. That's such a good take on that song. Yeah, I love Richard Cheese.
Yeah, he's fun.
He's the right kind of cheese.
Indeed.
What else do we got?
Not tons, man. I mean, there was the fact that we have a new Wonka that they have been just teasing for quite a while. Apparently, Timothée Chalamet is going to be a young Willy Wonka. It's officially development.
Is this a prequel?
It is a prequel to the Johnny Depp version, which is why they cast somebody specifically who looks more along the lines of Depp in that particular role in comparison.
Why?
I love the Gene Wilder movie. I was very excited about the Tim Burton remake, and I hated it. I don't like that movie at all. All the CG dancing Oompa Loompa musical sequences just irritated me, and I don't know, wasn't a fan of it. But so there was that, and then also the fact that Chad Stahelski's Highlander is finally moving forward, apparently, with Henry Cavill. I always forget how to properly pronounce his name. But Henry Soups himself, stepping into the there can be only one sort of situation. I'm cool with that casting. That is kind of fun in my estimation. So
yeah, that'd be.
I love that series.
I do too. I even like some of the later ones, like Final Dimension, and although when they brought both Duncan and Connor together, I thought it was going to be better than that was. So that was a little bit of a disappointment. But the first three are a lot of fun.
And actually, a quick note on the prequel for Willy Wonka here. It's being directed by the Paddington guy.
Yes.
Who everyone loves. I haven't seen them, so I can't comment. But one of them has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
so.
It's considered like one of the perfect movies.
No shit.
Right? Yeah. Maybe they're cool.
Okay.
Yeah, peeps love those films. They truly do.
Has any of us seen it? I don't.
I have not seen it.
It's 100% because one person saw it. I liked
it. And then the only one's calculated. Yeah, probably.
That'd be amazing. So go ahead.
So the weekend upcoming is Quiet Place 2 and 101 Dalmatians. What's your name?
Cruella.
Emma Watson. Oh.
What?
Her name, right?
Emma Stone.
Is it Watson? Oh, Emma Stone.
Yeah,
it was an Emma.
There's a lot of Emmas out there.
Hellraiser's getting a remake.
Oh no!
Mm-hmm.
It's coming to Hulu. It's not even going to theater. It's going to Hulu.
Yeah, I had my
man.
separate little section of horror news like that, and Hocus Pocus 2 being finally announced for next Halloween, which people are excited about. All three of the.
I don't know why people are excited about that. Are we like, what's it gonna be about?
What's with the 25-year sequels? What if
Well, that's the nostalgia cycle. The 25 years, or 20 to 30 years, depending
The
on.
nostalgia, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, 30 years when they went to 50s for The Thing and The Blob and stuff like that, and then in the 80s they remade them, and so yeah, I guess that is about the timeline of the cycle, so to speak. So
Well, it's you're a child when you're like 4 or 5, then 25, 30 years later you're an adult and you're nostalgic for your childhood, so you want to see new versions of the movies when you were a kid. That's the theory anyway. I'm not
take your own kids to it. Perhaps, or whatever.
Exactly. Because all of us in our 30s definitely have kids.
I am one of the few in my circle of people that is in the 30s without them
Dodge
kidding.
that bullet. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
I got cats, and that's all I want.
I got Sissy, and I'm perfectly content.
I don't want no little humans around here. I got things to do.
I can't feed myself. I'm not going to fucking feed another version of me. Dice says she's intrigued about intrigued about Hocus Pocus 2. They have the original witches on board.
All three.
Which is interesting.
That might be cool. I think that's the one thing that when I did hear about it, I was like, that's because I know Bette Midler and them had been wanting to do one, or they had been open to one for some time. So it's cool that they are getting. I like the first one. I think it's okay. I never thought it was like the holy grail of like. I guess it was it when Freeform used to be ABC Family and they used to do 30 days of Halloween or whatever. They showed Hocus Pocus like every other day, and then they did like the 30 days of Harry Potter. Like that was just those are the things, and it was like everyone loved it, and I was like, it's cool. I'll keep it on in the background. It was never something I was. So I don't know.
It's kind of the same thing like with The Craft getting whatever you call
that. It was like, it wasn't the best witch movie. It was okay, but there were better ones. So
yeah, that's the thing. I have some
in this too.
Yeah, I have some friends, especially of the female variety, who love Hocus Pocus, like adore that shit. And I mean, for me, it was always more like, Little Monsters, Monster Squad, Ernest Scared Stupid, Return to Oz, stuff like that, of the kind of scary kids, storytelling that I thought was superior, but, to each their own, obviously. So.
I mean, I thought I loved The Gate, and then I watched it as an adult, and I was like, no, this is shit. This is garbage.
You are wrong, and I just want you to know
quite like
that The Gate is still one of the best.
All right, so don't watch it in high definition, maybe, I guess.
Whatever, man. I don't know what to tell you because it still holds
especially
up.
the metal friend, and when he's like just chilling in his room and listening to the record and discovering something. Like, I don't know, there's some fun sequences.
Right? It's so creepy. It's such a great movie.
All right, well then I am in the minority thinking that The Gate is a little
and I can't help you out because I've never seen it, but I do love me some Stephen Dorff, one of the best actors to always consistently have that career but never quite getting there. Like, I love him.
Yeah, if you couldn't cast kid actor A, kid actor B, you could have cast Stephen Dorff as your third choice.
He's so good in Blade. I watched that again, by the way. I love him.
I need to really sit down and get through that.
Yeah, they're supposed to start filming the new one next year. I think they. Yeah, which is exciting. Mahershala Ali. Yeah,
I'm excited.
I feel like they could have brought back Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, it stole the
There's
words right out of my mouth.
There's no reason why he couldn't still play Blade. Not at all.
He's in great shape.
He could have still been Blade.
Yeah, he was still clamoring for it too. He wanted to do it, but as far as comic stuff, I was curious, Chauncey, if you heard about the fact that they're bringing on the Bad Boys for Life directors to do this Batgirl movie now. It's apparently not going to be a theatrical situation anymore. It's going to be going directly to HBO Max. I don't know how much you like Barbara Gordon or how much you might be into that character. Or like, okay, well, that's the clarification.
I have honestly blocked that out. I heard it was happening, and I've honestly blocked that out. I think of all the ones to give a solo to, you picked like the dullest one. It was just like, I think they need to give Starfire a bit more focus with the Titans coming out again. And I just think it's going to be, but people eat that up because it's projection. She's a character that's very easy to project onto. It's like a Bella from Twilight. She's that kind of character where girls who want to be like that, she's not distinctive enough where girls who want to be like that will eat that up. So it's probably going to do fine.
But if it's going to be like Bella, I think people eat that shit up.
I think there have been good versions of Batgirl, like the Harley Quinn series that I recently watched. I like Batgirl on that, but for the most part, yeah, she's not the best character. Although Joss Whedon's not involved anymore, so hey.
I've been on the fence to check out The Nevers, which is that show of his on HBO Max. I've
heard it's actually pretty good.
I watched the first episode.
Yeah.
I thought there was a lot going on in the first episode, and then it compelled me to watch the second one. I hear it does get better, so I'm going to revisit it.
Yeah, I think it was only the first one that he wrote or directed or whatever it was. But
he's been completely pulled out. He's got nothing to do with it. He doesn't even have like a producing credit or anything anymore. So.
And I agree with Dice in saying that Bella was a self-insert, and I do think at times Batgirl tends to be a self-insert. And especially when it comes to the ship wars of who she should be with and stuff, a lot of time it's really the person self-inserts and then they want her with whoever they want to be with. It's just she's not a very good superhero.
You know what my favorite version of Barbara Gordon actually is? The one from Batman Beyond where she's like all old. And
she becomes commissioner. Yeah, that's a great one. That version,
right? Because she's not Batgirl. She's being a cop and she's really good at it. Nothing against Batgirl. Like I think the Batwoman character. What was the DCAU movie that she came in on? I kind of dug that portrayal of Batwoman in that movie. Bad Blood or something like that. If anyone in the chat knows what I'm talking about, the one where Batman disappears.
Oh, when she was Cat.
Maybe it's been a while since I've seen them. I watched them all right at the start of quarantine. It's been a little over a year now.
Wait, what was the television series with Ruby Rose? Was that Batgirl?
I think that was Batwoman. Yeah, I never saw
it. Batwoman, yeah, and they recast after.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it's in season 2 now, and it's been recast because Ruby left. And so now they have, which I think it's I hear it's gotten better actually with the new character playing her and stuff. I know there was a little bit of a mixed backlash because some people were Ruby fans for some reason, and then there were some people who also thought it was kind of a marketing thing to when they cast a black woman as her. Not her, but cast a black woman in the role, that it was kind of like you guys are like trying to make it so no one's allowed to not like this show because if we say we don't like it, we're racist. And it's like, you're paranoid. Like you can still not like a show. It doesn't have to be for racial reasons.
I think Ruby Rose is a lot like Cara Delevingne, where they have these preloaded modeling histories that people are following and fans of, but well, at least in the case of Cara Delevingne, I haven't seen anything on the acting side that would make me want to,
she's weird.
Back an entire movie on. So the same thing with Ruby Rose. I haven't seen anything from her.
She was in John Wick too, and it was just she was so pointless in that movie, and they gave her too much screen time. And John Wick didn't even see her as a real nemesis. I thought that was what was so funny about it, because he was like, you are not important to me. like this isn't. And I was like, that sums up how I feel about Ruby Rose.
I actually have to say, Ruby Rose
in the Meg. Wasn't she in that?
She was
sorry,
in the
Fuego, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, man. She was in the Meg, and I actually saw her in a film earlier this year called SAS, and it was a British film about like black ops, espionage sort of stuff, and she plays the main villain in that. She was very convincing. I think it was the best work that I had seen her pretty much ever do. And it was kind of a riff on Die Hard. It wasn't particularly original, and took place on a train, and this guy is on holiday, and he just so happens to be on the train that gets hijacked, and he goes against Ruby Rose and her whole posse of these black ops peeps and stuff. But I mean, she showed that she has potential. I just don't always know if she's like the best cast. And with the Batwoman thing, she was like, oh, I don't think I want to do 22 episode a year shows. Like, this is a lot more work than I'm used to. I'm prepped for like a couple movies a year, but nothing of that demand. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, good job. Good job.
Apparently, she was also in Resident Evil: The Final Chapter, and I do not remember her in that. At all.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like the two of them, they're sure you look great on a page, but can you make me remember you?
I'm trying to remember. What else has Kara been in other than Suicide Squad? And Pan. She was in Pan. She had no lines. She was like the mermaids. She was every mermaid. There was like 3 or 4 of them.
Cara Delevingne?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
There was that teen rom-com, Paper Towns.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I never saw it. I heard that was good. I never saw it.
And then she was in the one with Dane DeHaan, the Luke Besson movie, right?
That had the really good first 5 minutes. Then completely falls off.
Shit. V. It starts with a V.
Yeah, Valerian.
Yeah.
Was it Valerian? Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It looked nice. That movie did.
I shouldn't say it completely falls off after the first 5 minutes. The first 5 minutes were the best part, I thought.
I haven't seen that since it came out, but yeah, still, she doesn't make a difference in that movie. There's, I don't know. I said the same thing about what's his name? Speaking of Suicide Squad, the guy who actually sticks out in that movie, the Australian actor.
Captain Boomerang.
Yeah, whatever his name
Courtney.
is. Jai Courtney. For the longest time, I'm like, this guy doesn't enough. Stop trying to make Jai Courtney work. But
well, to be fair, Jai Courtney had the best agent in Hollywood for a few years there, and everyone hated him for it because he was showing up in everything. And
the same thing happened with Sam Worthington, right? Where they were like, we're going to make Sam Worthington a thing.
Yeah, and they really tried
forcing the issue.
Yeah. Stop force feeding us these actors, damn it.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes, but it has to have. You actually have to have some talent. Not talent.
Yeah.
Not saying talent didn't have talent.
Some charisma.
I think there has to be something that really. It's like if you're gonna cram down someone's throat that this person is the it factor. Mm-hmm. They really actually should have that, or it just falls off. It's like what we were talking about. Joaquin Phoenix's, baby's mama. The one who was a horrible Nancy in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Kate Mara.
Rooney Mara.
And how she was thrown at, when she first, I just remember her being on every magazine and they were just telling me that she was the next huge thing. And I was just like, I don't see it. And then it just evaporated. Suddenly she wasn't mind you, we were talking about how she was already rich and everything. So it didn't matter. It was the same thing with Armie Hammer. And now we don't know if he eats people or not. But at one point he was on everything. And it was like, is he really that charismatic? Why is he everywhere? I don't know. But they're really trying to make me think he's the next big guy, best leading man ever,
I'm wondering if they, because the Mara dynasty is quite well off. I'm wondering how much, granddaughter Kate and Rooney decide, we're going to try acting. How much money they put behind them in promotion and
there's that.
They're not doing any sort of they're not paying dues. They're not playing a role as so and so. The third feature in a film. They're getting headline roles right off the bat and getting this page time. Calling them the next big thing, and it's like, is that really true or are you sponsored for that? How much promotion is behind some of these actors?
That is the publicist just being like, ha ha ha, me publicist, and I will get you out there, right?
It's kind of crazy that even in Hollywood you could, but it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Some people don't have money, some people have sex appeal, and if that's what's got to get them in the door, they'll.
I was just gonna say, but someone who was crammed down our throat. But I am very happy that she is. It was Margaret Robbie. When she came out, but she kind of paid her dues because she played that part in Wolf of Wall Street. Sure. And she did something that normally they don't let the it girls do, that become mainstream it girls, where she did full frontal and things like that. Mm-hmm. And she was still allowed to become mainstream type thing. But she's actually a really great actress. So when she started showing up everywhere, the Will Smith movie and this movie and that, she was just everything, it was okay. But then you're kind of but okay. Because it's like, I actually like you and you can back this up. So it's all right that you're everywhere right now, So it's not inherently bad. It's just a lot of time we see the people who get crammed down our throats are the people who don't necessarily deserve it or don't have that charisma
or don't
to carry it.
Yeah, Focus. It's a movie I really thought was a lot better than got credit for. I enjoyed that movie. With Will Smith, he's a thief, and she's a thief as well, and they're trying to steal from a guy at a football game. Is this like the peak of the movie?
Yeah,
yes, Margot Robbie was great in I, Tonya.
Yep.
As well as that Fox News movie, Bombshell. Was it Bombshell?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Bombshell. Yeah, with her and Nicole Kidman, and that was quite a cast in that film. But,
and I love Harley Quinn. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I always lean more towards Samara Weaving, but that's just me. She's like the younger Australian counterpart who's a little crazier in my estimation. And they're trying to make her a thing right now after Ready.
Yeah, they've been trying. I don't know if that's going to succeed.
Yeah, because she's in Snake Eyes and a few other more high-profile sort of things, but we'll see.
Should we talk about Snake Eyes? Do we have any thoughts on the third attempt to make a G.I. Joe franchise a thing?
Wait, I thought it's Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe. That's literally what it is. Yeah. Oh, I thought it was something else.
No,
a Nicolas Cage movie.
Yeah, that's what it is. So wait, they're staying in universe from the previous two G.I. Joes?
To the best of my knowledge, but I think it's a prequel. It's an origin of the Snake Eyes character. So,
no.
I liked the first one just because it was so campy and dumb. It seemed aware of how campy and dumb it was, and then the second one was like, all right, but yeah, do we need another one? Is there really that much of a clamoring for G.I. Joe, or is it just chasing that nostalgia trip?
That might be that.
I love G.I. Joe as a kid, and I'm saying that.
Yeah, well, it doesn't have the same clout as like Transformers, and I know they're both Hasbro properties, and so they're trying to make it a thing, but yeah, I kind of am confused about the fact that they're just so adamant about it. So.
Trini says, "Just stop already." Yeah, I don't see the reasoning behind this. Because Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in the first one, and The Rock was in the second one, wasn't he?
And Bruce Willis. I thought.
Oh my God, that's right, Bruce Willis.
Yeah. I thought with adding that sort of star potential, the second one was going to be superior. And I was like, oh, there's no Sienna Miller, so I'm not as into it as I thought I was going to be. But no, it was even worse than the previous. So.
Yeah. I don't
like the explosion guy who had like bees that like ran up and like exploded on guys. I thought that was kind of an interesting character, but just because exploding bees.
You sound like a grandparent describing something.
I feel like a grandparent.
That exploding guy with bees. Do you have that in the store?
Look, my kids want to watch the movie with exploding bees.
So anything we got planned for this upcoming week, guys?
I'm probably going to watch Fast tomorrow night.
Wait, how do you have access to Fast?
Isn't it out? Is it not out yet? I thought it was
already
out.
Until the 28th, I want to say.
Yeah, but if you've got tickets, by all means.
I thought it was already out. That's how in tune with things I am right now. So never mind. I got no plans in a quiet place at some point. That's about it.
Yeah, North American.
You just ruined my week.
Yeah, North American release June 25th. So it's
wow. What the hell are they waiting so long for?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm on, guys. Don't take it though.
Well, you could have read the 25th and thought May. I probably
let's go with that.
Same thing.
That seems like a long time with it being out already overseas.
That is really strange.
That's why. Okay, yeah. Okay, whatever. I'm embarrassed. Let's move on.
Fuego, what do you got coming up?
So we have a early press screening of the new Conjuring film. I believe we're seeing it next Monday, if I'm not mistaken. But we're going to be dropping our Quiet Place 2 review. I think Cecil is finishing the renders right now, so it should be up sometime tomorrow. And yes, I will probably go and check out Cruella at some particular point with that A-list and give a review on Fuegotainment in the coming days. So.
I gotta get my
Chauncey.
A-list up and running again. I forgot. Yeah, I keep forgetting about it. Go ahead, Chauncey.
You guys with your theater going experiences.
Well, this week I have tomorrow. It's a screening of The Conjuring here. They're doing a little. We might be going through the woods or something like that or whatever too. So it's an outdoor, gratefully screening because screenings are happening again. So I'm going to try to go to one. So that I might be posting some stuff on social media. You know, if people want to see like some of the wood stuff or whatever it's gonna look out like. I'm not sure if I'll do. I forget when it comes out in like on HBO Max and theaters. So I'll probably do my review if I, go and see it a little closer to that. But there's that. I'm also going to be getting around to watching the Skull, this movie that's coming or that's supposed to be coming out on Shudder this week. It's it kind of has this grindhouse 80s slasher thing to it going on about this god that comes back and kills people and everything, and it's I think it takes place in El Salvador actually, so it's subtitled, but I'm gonna check that out this week. And there was one other thing I think, but yeah, those are kind of the two I'm focusing on. I'm gonna finish Army of the Dead, so I'll probably have a review of that this week as well.
I love that you watched the Snyder cut in one sitting, but
I know, and I never got back around it. I did. I sat through all that, and I did not get back around Army of the Dead. I think it's my bias against the zombie genre. It's just not. It doesn't thrill me.
It is a little tired. It is a tad tired. Dave McCrae, YouTuber, horror film reviewer extraordinaire, did a fan film. It's Me, Billy. On the Black Christmas franchise, and I'll probably do a live watching, and that's probably what will be covered here in the next couple of days. But that comes up on Sunday. So and you guys, when is he asking for? I know there's no real when is your review going up for that?
That would be a Cecil thing to consult. I know it's going to be after A Quiet Place 2, but probably before The Conjuring, obviously. Yeah. So in the coming days, because we watched it on Sunday and also filmed our review. So
can't possibly be an embargo thing. I was what I was thinking.
No, it was good. I mean, it felt like a studio quality film, and the fan film has been elevated, and Dave continues to do it. Dave and
that's
Vince,
awesome.
Some of these peeps, they just continue to impress. So
how long is it?
40 something minutes, if I recall correctly.
Sweet, so, nice, yeah. In and out, nice. All right. So thanks to everybody in the chat: Stiff Kittens, Trini, Zachary, Haith, Dice, Jake, Wheel. No, I have not watched the Kate Winslet show on HBO.
Oh yeah, I've been curious about that one.
I'm actually not. I'm completely in the dark about it. So
Mara of Eastwood, right?
Yeah. What does it pertain?
It's like kind of a mystery thriller sort of situation, if I recall correctly. Okay. I haven't watched any of it, but I've seen some friends of mine raving. So
yeah. I'll see if it's playing at home. I could certainly look at it. But that thank you guys for sticking with us, and we'll see. It'll probably be Tuesday again next week, right? Because Fuego, you have screeners on Monday.
I think it's the first, so Wednesday. I'll have to double check the timing because I don't think it's actually on the holiday because Monday's Memorial Day, if I remember right.
Oh,
is it?
I believe so.
Well, just be on the lookout for the next edition of Show Business. And any last words?
King Shark is a shark?
King Shark of nonsense.